Dracula and his monsters turn Shaggy into a werewolf, and then kidnap him so he can race in the annual monster rally, bringing Scooby, Scrappy, and Shaggy's girlfriend Googie along for the hijinks.
See? Shaggy has a girlfriend. I don't know why she's never brought up again, but... What's up, everybody? Celtic Scarecrow here. Back with another reaction to get those 10s and 20 views. If you don't know, I am a massive Scooby-Doo fan. Favorite show growing up as a kid. It's one of those shows that you can watch it, not Velma, never watch Velma. Then you just enjoy it for just what it is. Just simple and fun. And it's educational, showing that only real monsters are humans. Unless it's a movie. You watch the movies, then the monsters are people. Aren't people. The movies, they're actually real monsters, which is a really cool twist. It's like the show, cartoons. This. I also did an anime of the month where I made Mystery Inc. the anime of the month. It was one of my first ones. I think it was like maybe first. No, not first Halloween, but it was definitely up there. So today, we are reacting to the channel called Dolt. Never heard you, Dolt. Don't even know if you're a man or a woman. But you have a few Scooby-Doo videos. Looks like all your videos are Scooby-Doo related. I don't hate that. I don't hate it. Today we're in how many years in prison would the Scooby-Doo villains get? It is a fascinating question. Like, how many years would they get? Also, oh, I forgot to, hold on. Oh, we forgot to do this. Boop. Sorry, I had to get the proper title down there. But how many years would these Scooby-Doo villains truly get? A lot of the crimes in Scooby-Doo, like I said, don't watch Velma. Never watch Velma. It's like white-collar crimes. Like, no one's getting kidnapped. No one's being unalive. No one's being SA'd. Granted, Kids Show also took place in, like, started in, like, the 60s. So that's stuff where we would have been big. So it's a lot of white-collar crimes. And see, I'm also not cursing because I don't know if this channel does. It's kind of a level of respect. So, Mr. Adult, this is a test because I'm a massive Scooby-Doo fan and you're messing with the greatest talking dog of all time. So let's see what you do.
How many years in prison would every Scooby-Doo movie villain get for the crimes? I've gone through...
Ooh, he's going movie villains. There's some crazy stuff in the movies, like... He doesn't have the most terrifying one up on screen. Also, live action. Okay. Which is Scooby-Doo's Zombie Island. Oh, here it is, right here. This one.
all 48 movies and all of the specials to find every single crime the villains do, and use my handy-dandy law book to bring some justice to this.
It's a pretend law book. Aww. It's like, Twitter friends. Do they really exist? I don't know. I have people who, like, post stuff like, how do you not get lonely during your streams when you have no views? And then I reach out and they say something, like, in their comment section, like, are you also streaming? Like, bitch, did you not click any of the links in my script, in my page? Do a tad bit research.
Place. Now, depending on what state or country the film takes place in,
it's also very true. So, all the states that Scooby-Doo has either visited on-screen cartoon movie. Hey, Jersey. I don't think they ever lived in California. I want to say they live... Yeah, Ohio's a good guess. I thought they were more that Erie Lake, PA area, not as much actual Ohio. But I could be wrong.
I'll use that place's laws the best I can. So let's get started with Scooby's very first movie.
Also, thank you. Thank you for not being the AI voice. And I curse. I insult the AI overlord, so it gets did that to me. Alright, let's try refreshing the page.
How many years in prison would every Scooby-Doo movie villain get for their crimes? I've gone through all 48 movies and all lists. So let's get started with Scooby's very first movie.
Okay, we're back. Got it.
In Scooby-Doo Meets the Boo Brothers.
The Boo Brothers. I want to say this is a Casper the Friendly Ghost crossover.
TJ impersonates the town sheriff to try and find the Beauregard treasure in Shaggy's new plantation home. He makes his way in and scares the boys off.
Impersonating cop, 2 years. Grand Theft Auto, 20. That seems a little high there. Theft of government property. That I can see up there. Grand Theft, 20 years. Again, I think Grand Theft is a little high. Same with aggravated burglary. Same with trespassing. A lot of those are like misdemeanors.
Nearly knocking them off the roof before locking them in the secret room. He tries to slice the boys and the booze up. And do ghosts have rights?
Some. They have some. Not all, but some. Like, because you can't unalive a ghost. Assault with a deadly weapon. Thank you, aggravated cruelty to animal.
My buddy in New Mexico says yes. So add that attack on to trying to bury Shaggy and Scooby alive, and scaring Billy Bob off. TJ racks up a nice 287-year sentence.
Like I said, the Grand Theft, aggravated burglary, trespassing, I think you went a little too heavy on those. But a lot of the other stuff, I think you're pretty right on. That's
in Scooby-Doo and the Ghoul School.
Such a good movie. Also, they made a what's it? What's Up KO? Something, that show where they somehow the connection to the Ghoul School.
Revolta and her minions spy on the Grimwood girls before abducting all 5.
Invasion of privacy, 1 year. Assault on a minor. That should be a buried. You gotta replace the assaulting a minor to buried under the prison. Just saying.
Of them to turn them into servants. Scooby gets attacked by the Grim
Human trafficking.
Creeper in the bog, while Shaggy waits until hitting Revolta's manor to get his in, getting trapped in the mirror dimension and the bottom of this well to make up for it. Luckily, everyone makes it out just fine, but Revolta will still be getting a revolting 5 life sentences and
5 life sentences. Good job.
122 years in jail for her crimes.
The life sentences. It's like, if she comes back to life, does that count? Scooby-Doo and the Reluctant Werewolf. This is another good one. These were really great because they showed how much Shaggy did not need the others to be entertaining. Because both last 2 movies, this and the last movie, it was just Shaggy and Scooby. And Shaggy also has like a girlfriend he was living with in this one.
In Scooby-Doo and the Reluctant Werewolf, Dracula and his monsters turn Shaggy into a werewolf, and then kidnap him so he can race in the annual monster rally, bringing Scooby, Scrappy, and Shaggy's girlfriend Googie along for the hijinks.
See? Shaggy has a girlfriend. I don't know why she's never brought up again, but
Dracula really doesn't want him to win, so he and the monsters try everything they can to ruin their race, or ruin their lives.
Is the property damage really a crime? Because, also, Grand Theft Auto is 3 years in this one. I think you screwed up the first one, but you caught it later on. Because he gave Shaggy the car, so it's technically his own, but those two are the, right there.
Even after he wins, Dracula chases them down and tries to end them, to no avail. Showing up at their house will give him one final charge of stalking, and the Count should count as lucky stars that he ever gets out of jail. Life plus 59 years for him.
Like I said, Shaggy's girlfriend only ever made an appearance there. And she was a highly entertaining character in that movie where they could have really played off on that. Especially since on a lot of the other ones, him and Velma, outside of I think a few later movies, really showed no romantic interest in each other. And that's not because Velma is a lesbian. Says Zombie Island, Velma likes playing the field, and I think Shaggy doesn't do it for her mentally.
In Scooby-Doo on Zombie Island, Simone, Lena, and Jock become cat people to get revenge on the pirates who destroy their community, and every few years would sacrifice more people to keep their power. I've got 8 pirates, 10 settlers.
Oh, this should be a good number here.
5 soldiers, and 8 tourists that they for sure murdered, marking Scooby's first actual serial killers.
Yes, yeah, no argument there. And this movie was terrifying and had an awesome soundtrack. Go listen to some of the Scooby-Doo soundtracks. They're just amazing.
Okay, Queens. You know what, just for you, I'll even knock off the pirates from the tally. That's just a good revenge arc. Oh, they also used voodoo magic to assault the gang and undercover Detective Bo, almost adding Shaggy.
Yep, Bo. Thelma wanted Bo so badly in this movie.
And Scooby to that list of murder victims too. For our most iconic villains, it seems only right that they'd earn 23 life sentences, plus 522 and a half years in Louisiana State Prison. Oh.
But technically they were taken out early, so it's just what it is.
Oh, and Mr. Beeman from the start is a counterfeiter and chased the gang around a little bit. 11 years.
Wait, isn't technically Zombie Island? There should be a lot more to it, but the whole premise of Zombie Island was Fred was still working with Daphne after the group kind of went their own way. And they were trying to find proof of actual ghosts, so they spent like a good chunk of the first couple scenes of the movies debunking a lot of other cases.
In Scooby-Doo and the Witch's Ghost, Ben Ravencroft pays these two bozos and two security guards to help set up attack of his professor so he can meet the gang and get their help. Help obtaining a legendary witch spellbook, which he acquires and promptly restrains Mr. McKnight, the mayor, and the Hex Girls before attacking the rest of the gang.
Hex Girls were also baddies, not gonna lie.
His old ancestor Sarah Ravencroft shows him how it's really done, using her fireballs to attack the gang and light the town on fire.
But can you really charge a ghost with crimes because they're kind of already dead? That's like assaulting a ghost. Can you really assault the ghost?
While also imprisoning Ben and enlarging this turkey to chase the boys. So,
what would the turkey get? If anything, she's helped solving world hunger.
I'm sentencing both Ben and Sarah to spend the rest of their lives in this book dimension. Oh, they died.
Hey, you didn't point out the fact that the cat people died. Just saying.
In Scooby-Doo and the Alien Invaders, Laura, Max, and Steve use these broccoli alien disguises to illegally mine the gold they found on the government property. They abduct Shaggy and Scooby one night to do something. Amber and Crystal join Fred and the girls in getting chased through the caves, with the latter.
Again, this is another movie where Shaggy somehow pulls a really cool chick. Never mentioned the fact that he had a girlfriend that he was living with.
Three getting captured, eventually turning the tables on the three researchers. They get taken away by the Men in Black, so we can only assume that they got a combination of a neuralizer and life plus 24 years in a New Mexico prison.
Cybercrimes, this is a good one. All the Scooby movies so far have been like just bangers.
In Scooby-Doo and the Cyber Chase, Bill was upset that his professor didn't pick his baseball game to showcase for the big prize, so he designed this
It's a sports game. Unfortunately, as much as I love them and I've been playing MLB The Show constantly, sports games just are repetitive.
computer virus to attack Eric, and eventually Fred and the girls. Bill
If he made a game about the computer virus, it would have been great.
even transports the gang into the game world with very real dangers. So I'll give him assault with a deadly weapon for each member of the gang for all 10 levels. So that'll be about 222 years behind bars. The
Yep.
equivalent of about 3 innings of baseball.
Yeah, some of the baseball games. Now, baseball doesn't go that long anymore, sir. Most baseball games are shorter than most NFL games.
In the live-action Scooby-Doo from 2002, Scrappy-Doo takes the identity of Emil Mondavarius to lure guests to the island to harvest their souls and take their power. We see 24 people at the start, a couple with Fred, and even special musical guest Sugar Ray. All of them get kept in this giant vat, so let's call it 1,000 people. Scooby gets attacked by the demons before bringing them back to the function to attack everyone else, while the rest of the gang get attacked in this haunted house from hell. Scrappy and his buddies here get extradited off Spooky Island, but
But if they're in on their own private island that's not part of any country, could they really be charged with that much stuff?
think that 9,028 years will do just fine. Old Man Smithers as the Luna Ghost ain't safe either. 15 years for kidnapping Daphne and attacking Shaggy and Scooby.
Know what I mean? Kind of a loophole. It's like trying to arrest Dr. Doom in Liberia.
In Scooby-Doo and the Legend of the Vampire, Glam
Okay, I do remember this. But I'll say, I don't remember this movie, but I remember this. They're in Australia.
Rock band Wildwind were upset over not winning the contest last year, so they returned with the Yowie Yahoo to kidnap their competition, including Matt Marvelous, the Bad Omens, and the Hex Girls, taking them all back to their lair. They even get the gang in on the fun. chasing them around with these giant fireballs before their capture. You already know the deal. You mess with the Hex Girls and you get punished to the fullest extent of the law.
Yes, yes, yes.
486 years in Aussie prison.
Like I said, and all this to win a contest in the desert, in Australia, too. You just leave people in Australia and let nature take care of them. It would have been easier. Or it's just kidnap people in Australia, assault with a deadly weapon.
In Scooby-Doo and the Monster of Mexico, Charlene and Mr. Smiley use the legend of the Chupacabra, frightening locals and trying to get Alejo and Luis's property from them. Jorge and Chiquita are the first victims, before bringing the gang and the Otero brothers in on the rampage, cutting the Mystery Machine's brake line in the process. Daphne...
Well, I know it's mischief. No, that could be attempted murder. Realistically, because you figure Fred's going, I don't know, anything in that van that has high speed. The Mystery Machine's not like the most safely combined thing.
He gets kidnapped and taken to the ancient pyramids, where Velma and she go for a wild ride, while Alejo and Luis nearly get stomped. A final attack at the Day of the Dead celebration leaves our two gringos with 280 years in prison.
Now the real question, would America try to extradite them, have them served in America, or do they just leave them in Mexico? That's the crazy part.
In Scooby-Doo 2 Monsters Unleashed, Dr. Jonathan Jacobo escapes from prison and steals all the costumes from the
Escapes from prison is only 6 years. Again, that Grand Theft number. Way to fix it.
Coulsonian Museum, reanimating them to terrorize Coolsville once more. He breaks into Wickles Manor to plant some evidence before attacking the gang here, the factory, and in the build-up to the climax. Not to mention using the tar monster to trap, by my count, 74 people.
Also, that's destruction of a lot of people's property, because tar is just hot goo.
People on the street, 66 protesters, and another guy in a car. He breaks into the news station, harpoons the Mystery Machine, and kidnaps Patrick before a final assault of the gang, where Scooby finally saves the day. Oh, and Ned was helping him too, I guess. 469.5 years in Coolsville prison for the pair.
Well, that'd be federal. Federal. You don't have to, like, a museum? That's federal.
In Scooby-Doo and the Loch Ness Monster, Fiona Pembroke pilots this robotic Nessie to try and convince everyone that she's really out there, going to some pretty extreme lengths to do so. She crashes Shannon's party boat with 14 people aboard.
Here's the thing, and this is the one I don't get with her. All she had to do is just stay hidden, just pop up with Nessie every so often, and she's been fine.
Before destroying her castle to frighten Shag and Scoob. Eventually, the rest of the gang and Shannon join in on the chase, adding Del once his van gets stolen. Everyone ends up pretty chill with Fiona by the end, but I've still got a reservation for her in Scottish prison for 69.5 years.
Shame. Okay, they're now regarding against the newer ones. I have not seen a lot of these, so I can't really make if they're good or bad.
In Aloha Scooby-Doo, Mono and Snooki use the legend of the Wiki Tiki to drive away residents and
The Wiki Tiki.
buy their homes for pennies on the dollar. They crash the beach on the first day, attacking a total of 37 people here before the gang even gets involved. And when they do, the tiny Tikis attack them at the luau with Ruben La Luna and 13 other guests, burning down some of the buildings and almost kidnapping Daphne.
So, why is Daphne less of a redhead in this movie? That's my first question.
As they uncover the clues, the Wiki Tiki continues to attack them, destroying some artifacts and buildings along the way, racking...
Which is odd. Like I said, never seen the movie. Why would the Wiki Tiki destroy ancient Hawaiian artifacts if they really want to keep Hawaii for Hawaiians?
up a nice 371 years in Hawaiian prison for the pair.
Where's my mummy?
In Scooby-Doo and Where's My Mummy, Amelia Von Butch and her gang hunt for the treasure of Cleopatra, not letting Prince Omar and his phone stop her. She uses this explosive to blow the tomb open, throwing Fred to the side and flicking this locust off her. They attack Daphne and Fred in town, stealing the Ankh and leaving them unconscious on top of one of the pyramids.
Grand Theft Life. Kidnapping Life. Like, that's Egypt, correction. So yeah.
She does manage to steal the crown of Cleopatra and escape, but Fred's trap and some help from a friend capture her, leaving her with nothing but 4 life sentences plus 3.5 years in Egyptian prison. Oh yeah, speaking of Cleopatra, her ghost torments the gang, kidnapping all of Amelia's helpers and bowls a perfect strike with Shaggy, Scooby, and some of the warriors. Once the tomb collapses, Scooby unmasks... Velma? Yeah, Velma and her archaeology buddies were protecting this tomb from the treasure hunters the whole time. You know...
Man, that'd be an interesting video. Like, how much jail time would Scooby and the gang get?
You know what? I'll allow it. No prison time for her.
Well, if they're the ones doing it, the country would have to know that, hey, we're the ones doing it. And I do remember that movie.
In Scooby-Doo Pirates Ahoy, Mr. Mysterio hypnotizes 29 people to join Skunkbeard's pirate crew to search for the Heaven's Light meteor. They begin by boarding Rupert's ship, quickly wrecking it and taking off, before doing the same to the cruise ship that the gang are on with 33 other people on board. In the commotion, a couple of sword attacks and the kidnapping of Fred's parents mean that the gang has no choice but to hop on the case.
Yeah, no, it's not attempted murder here. There's actual murder. There's no way you shoot cannons through a ship and not have any collateral damage.
Leading to their sinking and eventual capture. Once aboard the pirate ship, the crew attack everyone and Scooby a couple of times before Shag and Scoob net them up. They wrote Biff Wellington, who was Skunkbeard, in with Mysterio, but they also said that he was hypnotized too, so I don't know. Either way, 16 life sentences and 341 years in prison.
Fair. That's fair.
In Chill Out Scooby-Doo, Minga disguises as the Abominable Snowman to keep Del Choman at the radio station a little bit longer, because she's got a crush on him. She breaks into a couple of areas and steals some helium tanks, but hey, who hasn't before? Plus, she saved Del and Velma from an avalanche, so she's off the hook.
If you steal your own property and you don't try to claim insurance fraud on it, is there anything actually wrong there?
Besides, we've got an actual criminal, Professor Jeffries. He brought a bunch of explosives into the Crystal Caves and started blast mining, and separated Minga from the sled, which could have led to her death. For this, he'll get life plus 11 years in Himalayan prison.
Okay, yep. Scooby-Doo and the Goblin King. Why is Velma dressed up as a goddamn pumpkin?
In Scooby-Doo and the Goblin King, the amazing Krudsky becomes the most powerful wizard in the world after attacking this fairy and taking her powers. He breaks into Mr. Gibble's store, turns him into a rat.
Again, mythical creatures. How much rights and protections do we give them? Everything else past that, just say.
And then takes off with a bunch of goods, shooting fireballs at Shaggy and Scooby as they try and help. Fred and the girls aren't safe either, getting zapped into real monsters before Shaggy and Scooby save the day. Well, technically the Goblin King does.
Okay, how many furries out there prefer Velma as a werewolf? Just asking.
And takes Krudsky.
I am also Team Velma over Team Daphne. If you're curvy and a big ass sweatshirt, and the amount of running they do, there's no way she's chunky. She's just... Yep.
Back to the Demon Goblin realm. So, out of my jurisdiction. That's too bad. In Scooby-Doo and the Samurai Sword, Miss Miyamoto and Sojo team up to find and steal the Sword of Doom and unleash the Black Samurai.
The Sword of Doom? Come on, it's Japanese culture. They would have a way scarier name than the Sword of Doom.
They start by breaking into the museum and stealing the samurai armor before staging an attack on the martial arts tournament, where the gang face the worst of it. Even after her reveal, she locks Mr. Takagawa away with Fred and the girls, while sending her robot ninjas back into the city to try and track down the sword that Shag and Scoob took. A final duel with Mayumi sees her grab the sword and release the Black Samurai, who immediately wreaks havoc on Miyamoto and Sojo, using his power to restrain the gang and friends, and having a final boss battle with Shaggy and Scooby, who end up killing him.
How? I'm asking an honest question. How? The man is like an ancient samurai. There's no way he should lose to Scooby. As much as I love Scooby, he should not lose.
Oh. Well, I'm not one for corporal punishment, but you do you, Scoob. Life plus 165 years in prison for Miss Miyamoto and Sojo. In Scooby-Doo, the mystery begins.
This actually wasn't a bad movie. I'm not gonna lie, this one actually wasn't a bad movie.
Principal Deedle disguises as the Spectre, controlling the ghosts of Ezekiel and Prudence with a magic spell, using them to attack the pep rally with what looks like 74 students and staff. Oh, plus the gang in detention. Fred gets attacked, Shaggy and Scooby get locked in the freezer, and the entire school goes up in flames.
I'm sorry, being locked in a freezer as someone who worked in the frozen department of a grocery store should be attempted murder. Just saying. Especially if they're under duress like that, they would not survive that long.
As the gang search for clues, mini-planes attack Shaggy and Scooby and wreck the vice principal's house, before the gang get the knockout gas and get taken back to the school. Vice Principal Grimes is already here, and the ghosts hit the town to scare a theater of like 40 people and what looks like 28 more on the streets. Oh, and
That's really like reckless endangerment. That's where I think that would cause. Because not like a ghost can actually do a lot of damage.
And also, one of them randomly kisses a woman. Why'd that happen? 174 years in Ohio State Prison. In Scooby-Doo Abracadabra-Doo, Marlin Merlin is the puppet master behind this griffin monster, terrorizing the castle and scaring off all the...
That's a badass castle. Gotta love how Scooby-Doo actually has great thing. And again, look at this. Shaggy. King of Riz. We all know this. Velma knew she could not keep this man locked up. She never tried with him. She went after other guys.
Students and staff. Starting with this couple in the woods before adding Shaggy and Madeline to the list. Madeline gets kidnapped and locked away in the tower, where her knight in shining armor leads the gang to rescue her. Kinda. In the end, they do capture him and ruin his plan. He's forgiven by everyone, but not in the eyes of the law. 30 years in prison.
He'll probably get out due to like good behavior, helping out in a way.
Also, in the opening credit sequence, we see Miss Thelmer dress up as the chemical creep and steal secret formulas from the factory and chase the gang around. The quickest 13-year sentence ever.
Okay, I have not seen this one.
In Scooby-Doo Camp Scare, Ranger Knudsen uses the legend of the Woodsman, Fishman, and the Spectre of Shadow Canyon to aid Babyface Beretti in stealing the treasure from the sunken city. And man, they rack up the charges. Axe attack of 2 counselors, burning
It's all deadly
the
weapon.
camp down,
Arson.
attacking Scooby, Shaggy,
Even the arson could technically be considered an assault with a deadly weapon, a controlled substance, or some BS like that.
and Jessica while vandalizing the camp even more, stealing sonar equipment and an RV from the other camp, pushing 6 humans and a dog over the edge of a dam, using dynamite to explode the dam, flooding the lower camp, attacking Bert,
Like the dam again could be again like an attempted murder, because how many people were in that area who didn't know the dam was about to break?
Shaggy, Trudy, and Velma in the Jeep, axing Daphne, Velma, and Fred, breaking into the building and grabbing Jessica while falling, nearly drowning Daphne and Fred, attacking literally everybody again, and finally locking Bert, Daphne, Shaggy, Trudy, and Velma in this old jail cell. You know what? Not too shabby of a rap sheet. 4 life sentences and 111 years for Knudsen. Meanwhile, Beretti gets just 31 years.
Yeah, 'cause he was kind of just going after one thing. The other people were the ones doing a lot more damage. They did a second live action with that crew? Yeah.
In Scooby-Doo Curse of the Lake Monster, Wanda Grubwort possesses Velma to wreak havoc on the country club with the help of these mutant frog monsters, breaking into the tent to attack Thorny, a camera guy, and Fred. The frog monster chases Daphne and the boys around, following her and Fred to this boat to lock them in and nearly drown them. Once Velma's revealed, she throws them off and makes 3 more minions to deal with them, while she handles Shaggy. Luckily, Shaggy performs an exorcism right there, and the ghost is banished for another 78 years.
Meh.
In Scooby-Doo and the Legend of the Phanosaur, Blair and Culhane break into this old mansion and chase the gang out so they can buy it for cheap. 14 years in prison.
See, that's standard Scooby-Doo level right there of criminal mischief.
Who am I kidding? That's not the real villain. Professors Venkmeyer and Windsor use this Phanosaur technology to illegally blast mine the crystal fossil from the cave system. They scare the gang and the rest of their team off, chasing Shag and Scoob on this minecart before heading back into town to steal Mr. Hubley's machine and set everything ablaze.
Again, arson would not be the thing. They're using fire to try to attack people.
Townsfolk and the gang nearly get torched, with the latter withstanding
There we go. There we go.
one final attack before the perps get taken away. 130 years behind bars.
I thought that person was Velma.
Don't worry, Velma's waiting for you, Windsor.
No, she's not. Trust me. I've seen the movie. She's not waiting for someone who looks just like her. Christ. Look at the Sam Dean supernatural Scooby-Doo crossover. She's not waiting for him.
In Scooby-Doo Music of the Vampire, Vincent Van Helsing disguises as Lord Valdronia to try and stir up some commotion and sell some more books. He starts with one of these theater vampires before giving the van a moonroof to grab Daphne. A chase of Shaggy leads to him raising the stakes a little bit, attacking
It's all done.
all 5 theater kids and Daphne during the ritual. The theater kids also kidnap Daphne to take her here, but that's a whole nother story.
What?
He uses his fireball power to attack the gang and light the bayou on fire, knocking the gang out with the gas.
But to send the bayou on fire alone is destruction of like controlled. I don't know, nature reserve bullshit line. Sorry, I probably cursed in this video, but
Except for Fred, who captures them with a pretty sweet net launcher. Vincent will
Well, not just Netlunner. He's somehow launched spikes at it. Good shot, Fred.
Get 82.5 years in prison, while Bram and his buddies will get 50 years for helping. Never trust the theater kids. In Scooby-Doo Spooky Games, Jack Riggins uses the 40th statue to try and protect his pole vaulting record, terrorizing the Olympic Village and attacking Shaggy, Steve, and Scooby with the discus.
Why is Fred on the Olympic team? And why isn't it Shaggy? Man is fast as all hell.
Bringing the rest of the gang in for the javelin event, while taking the chase down into the underground area. He nearly takes out Fred and the girls, Diane and Steve with the bow and arrow, attacking 3 cops and swinging the giant pole at all 8 of them, getting tripped up at the last hurdle by Daphne and Velma.
That pole would not have survived that. Just saying, he would have broke through that, but he still would have hit his head on the ceiling.
Jack is getting locked away in the vault for 19 life sentences and 40,081 years.
Accurate. Fair, fair.
In Big Top Scooby-Doo, Archambault teams up with Whitney Doubleday and his trained baboons to go on a spree of jewel thefts, taking 2 from the museums of Atlantic City before heading back to the circus.
Hey, AC. Down here in the haunted forest of South Jersey. If you ever get AC White House subs, you'll thank me.
To go with all the attacks on the gang, Marius, Lena, and Schmatko all get attacked and kidnapped, being kept inside of one of these storage containers, while Wolfric gets his chain snatched and Olivario gets yoinked. Archambault tries to buy himself some time and shoots Doubleday with the tranq gun, attacking Marius and stealing the cash on the train before Shaggy stabs him in the face with like 4 tranquilizers. Okay, Shaggy. 329 and
That made tranquilizer might have unalived them.
half years in New Jersey State Prison for Doubleday, with Archambault adding another 30 years on top of that. In Scooby-Doo Haunted Holidays, Fabian tries to ruin his uncle's business with the snowman monster so he can sell it and rake in a nice holiday bonus. He chases Shaggy away and wrecks a bunch of festival floats, turning Scooby into a popsicle and attacking the small Santa. We see later.
Animal abuse. Yeah, unfortunately, Scooby as an animal does not get the same attempted murder charges, even though he should.
Later that he got tied up and stuffed into the garbage. He attacks Shaggy and Scooby again before breaking back into the store to freeze Fred and the girls. Then attacking
False imprisonment. That's assault with a deadly weapon, yeah. Keep raising that one up.
Shaggy, Scooby, and Santa Claus upstairs. Does Santa have rights?
Hard to say, 'cause my man does do a lot of break and entering and illegal surveillance on a lot of people. So let's just say morally gray area.
Like, probably. If he sees you when you're sleeping, he definitely saw Fabian stealing from the store's accounts. So that'll be 65 years on the naughty list for him. In Scooby-Doo
Also shows that Santa, like, I wonder if, like, Santa, he sees you when he's sleeping. It's kind of like it ages out. Like, once you become, like, a legal adult, it just stops surveilling the person. Be an interesting theory.
Mask of the Blue Falcon, Jack Rabble creates a couple of robots to ruin the comic convention.
The Blue Falcon. An old Scooby... that Boomerang hero. But... Blue Falcon is the military term. Someone who screws over their friend. They are a buddy effer. So it knew way back then.
Mr. Hyde being the star of the show. He breaks in and ties 2 guards up, unleashes these bats with what looks like 212 attendees, almost crushing 4 of them with his big screen. Another attack at the hotel and the flooding of City Hall leads us to the stadium where a giant-sized version trashes the place, attacking Austin.
Well, destruction of property, yeah. Right there, that's a couple $100 million that the taxpayers are going to have to repay. Dick.
And taking out a fire truck. Owen Garrison's revealed inside, but he was framed by Rabble to give him some more time to steal the armored car and attack 16 more people, before Blue Falcon and Dynamite save the day.
Not the real Dynamite, but Scooby-Doo can definitely fill him in.
That'll be 335.5 years in jail, where we pump the fumes from Comic-Con directly into a cell.
You're a monster. You're evil. I love the creativity. Love it. Try a Magic the Gathering tournament. That would be much worse.
That cruel and unusual. In Scooby-Doo Adventures, the mystery map, Shirley and Stu Stukowski dress up as the Phantom Pair
Puppet Scooby-Doo. I'm glad I skipped this one.
and the ghost of Nasty Beard to search for Nasty Beard's treasure. Stu breaks into the gang's treehouse and attacks Fred, sealing the gang inside of this cave before sneaking into the lighthouse and chasing Shaggy down the stairs. 38 years in prison for Stu. Shirley does a little bit better of a job, kidnapping Shaggy and Scooby to swab the deck, chasing them around the island and digging the treasure up. Unlucky for her, Shaggy and Scooby bonk her with some coconuts and knock her out, so she'll join her brother in jail for 28 years. Okay, so in Scooby-Doo Stage Fright, there's 4 villains with the same costume, so it gets a little bit murky, but here's what I got. Lance is the Phantom every time something goes wrong with one of the talent show contestants because he wants his own daughter to win. So,
which remember this? Like, this is one issue I do have with the Scooby Gang, is you figure Scooby and the gang have to be somewhere between the ages of 16 and 21. I want to say they're all like closer probably to 19 and 21 because in Cyber Chase, the one girl says, "I'm 18. You know what that means? I'm legal. Like, I'm legal to vote." And it's like that awkward pause is like, and she's staring at Fred. So I think the Scooby and the gang are probably around 22.
well, I've got him for breaking into Lotta's room and switching her perfume with some type of chemical to wreck her vocal cords, and then chasing Shaggy and Scooby once he's caught. He also breaks the Gorilla-saurus Rex's instruments and pushes the Great Paul Dini off the catwalk. 35 years in Illinois prison. Mel is the pyromaniac, so any fire gets attributed to him. He lit this ventriloquist dummy on fire and tried to set the place ablaze to get the insurance money. 81 years. Brick just wanted rape.
Again, setting places on fire with people in it is not just arson, man.
Ratings. So he's the one that crashed the stage in the beginning, and he also ran from police. 2 years. And Dewey's the most prolific, using the disguise to steal the soap diamond to add to his 2 other jewels that he already got. He's the one who chased Shaggy and nearly sliced Daphne and Fred here. And then once they caught him, he rips around Chicago and attacks the gang, even doing a hit and run to try and get the diamond back. 90.
Man, the Risky's doing that in Chicago. There's a whole website showing why that's bad.
1 years for him.
Also, you just watch Donut Operator and let him tell you what he thinks about Chicago.
I think that's all. In Scooby-Doo and the Spooky Scarecrow.
I was not in the Scooby-Doo movie. This does not look like my haunted forest.
Abner dresses up as Cornfield Clem to scare away the town from the cornfield that he buried the bank robbery money in. He scares 4 teens off to start, adding Shaggy and Scooby to the rampage.
I don't like that mask. Like, I get it, it's a scarecrow, they're usually stuffed with stuff. That's just not a good one.
Kindly giving them a ride to the old cemetery. Oh yeah, he stole the shovel from this guy. There's petty theft right there. He hops in this combine harvester to chase the gang through the field, but
Grand Theft Auto. That's attempted murder. Because you get, if he runs them over with that, they're not coming back.
it comes to a crash landing. 79 years in prison for him. Aw, shucks. I don't
It's 4 years life sentences too.
have a corny joke to end this one with. In Scooby-Doo Mecha Mutt Menace, Melanie takes control.
Also, I'm gonna give you a little round of applause here, Dalt. Way to change the background colors to fit the kind of theme of the movie. Like, you figure the last one, green, cornfield, forest, very good. This one, blue. You go back, it's like all of them match the kind of theme of the show. It's just a great level detail.
Control of her father's robot to get revenge for always being ignored. She starts with the entire presentation hall, and if we assume that we're 11 across, looks like 28 deep, and there's 2 halves here, we've got 616 people. Oh, plus the laser attacks, arson, destruction of government property, and running from the cops. And sending actual missiles at Shaggy and Scooby in their own mech suit. She'll be getting a nice 839 years in a Texas state prison.
No, she won't. The government will hire her ass, dropping all charges.
In Scooby-Doo WrestleMania Mystery, Cookie creates his own Ghost Bear costume to steal the belt and get WrestleMania shut down. He attacks.
Just let TKO do it. They're doing a pretty damn good job making WrestleMania 2 nights, not putting any really great matches on. They have like maybe 1 to 2 good matches a year. No, correction, they have probably 4 good matches a year, which they could put on one night and save everyone a lot more time. Also, they're just going to wherever who's going to pay them the most to be there.
The Miz out running, and knocks down the sign into town before chasing Shaggy and Scooby around WWE City. He wrecks Sin Cara's whip, and attacks 3 of the other wrestlers, adding John Cena and the gang to that list down in the cave.
But how did he see John Cena? That's my question. How did he see him?
Fred's nice camera also meets an untimely demise.
Okay, Dick. Cameras are expensive.
When the EMP he planted goes off, that gives him time to destroy the WW Museum, and
Destruction of private property. That's like historical property there. Also, how did the EMT not take out his own stuff?
attack Ruben on the way out of the ring, where Scooby eventually puts him down for the count. Since we all know pro wrestling is real, Cookie gets 32 years in WWE City Prison. Still,
That's it. He should get a lot more for destruction of property.
less evil than Vince McMahon. In Scooby-Doo Ghastly Goals, Ronaldo uses the Brazilian Cryptodeshu to steal this super bouncy potion and sell it for big money. But when a kid's football breaks the vial, he resorts to chasing Shaggy and Scooby around to get the ball back, assaulting a guard by the ball pit to escape. He gets a red card and a 17-year suspension from the FA.
I think he doesn't care actually about soccer or football.
In Scooby-Doo Franken-Creepy, CL Magnus, Mr. Crawls, Lila, and Mama Mione return to try and kill the gang.
Just straight up unaliving? Oh, dang.
No, really, they just straight up admit it. They plant an explosive on the mystery machine,
Yep, that'll do it.
derail their train with the gang and 16 other people aboard, and use this Franken-Creepy monster to drive the townsfolk out. Oh, they also hypnotize Velma to capture Shaggy and Scooby. Daphne and Fred get attacked down in the caves, where
Was it all the weapon?
the foes trap them with the cave-in. Once Velma's castle explodes, they herd
Velma had a castle? Oh, damn.
the villains in this train car for the capture, and they're taken away to get 1,416 years in Pennsylvania in prison.
Why waste the taxpayers' money on that?
In Scooby-Doo Moon Monster Madness, Shannon Lucas poses as this off-brand xenomorph to show everyone that space travel should be left to the professionals, like herself. She rips the door off the ship to cut their air supply, forcing them
That's attempted murder. No. Not destruction of property. Attempted murder. Get it right.
onto the moon, where Shaggy and Scooby are the first to get attacked. She also breaks into the moon base to attack them once more, and after her reveal,
Like I said, this should be attempted murder. Space. You break their air, they can't breathe. The moon doesn't have air.
locks the remaining 12 people in and sets off these thermal charges to get rid of them for good. Unlucky for her, Daphne and Velma safely guide them back to the home planet, and she's finally taken away to serve her 12 life sentences and 64 years in the prison from Alien 3.
Leave her up on the moon. Just leave her up there.
In Scooby-Doo and the Beach Beastie, Grafton Brownstone poses as the sea monster to try and steal his wife's fake necklace so she doesn't realize that it's fake. Stealing a pair of other
Is that really Grand Theft again? 30 years for Grand Theft seems a little high. Because Grand Theft it's worth a certain price range. If it's fake, doesn't hit that Grand Theft.
pieces of jewelry to cover his tracks. He
Okay, there we go. That's a little more.
attacks 30 people and 2 dogs in the hotel, breaks the TV Sandy was using for the presentation for 11 more people, chases the gang into the neighboring park, and snatches up Velma before his capture. Brownstone will be getting about 272 years inside of a Florida State prison. In Scooby-Doo and Kiss, Rock and Roll Mystery, Delilah Domino dresses up as the Crimson Witch to steal Kiss's priceless diamond. She attacks
No, it's Kiss. Never mind. I was say, why would Kiss have a priceless diamond? Never mind. It's Kiss.
2 of the Kiss World workers and scares 12 people out. We see her destroy some of the park on the security footage, and attack Shaggy and Scooby once more before stealing the diamond. Now things get a bit murky here because apparently the gang pass out for a while and we see a bunch of wild stuff happen. But
Again, Kiss.
also, Kiss are canonically aliens, so why let that stop me? Shaggy and Scooby get kidnapped and sent to the Kiss dimension, where the Crimson Witch attacks them and the band, reanimating these gargoyle Valkyrie things to kidnap the gang and attack Kiss again. If we assume that none of this was real, 47 years in prison. But if all the wild Kiss arc was real, 109 years instead.
But if it's in the Kiss dimension, could you really charge her for stuff like that?
In LEGO Scooby-Doo Nighttime Terror, Kyle Grimsley uses the Black Knight armor to keep people away from the mansion so he could look for the gold. He scares 2 treasure hunters out before the gang arrive, doing the same to Shaggy and Scooby a couple of times, while locking Fred, the girls, and Adam in the gold room. Luckily, Shag and Scoob come through in the end, and the Black Knight will be getting 36 years worth of nights in LEGO City Prison. In LEGO Scooby-Doo Haunted Hollywood, Verona Dempsey returns as the sea creature, chasing the boys out of the lighthouse, and hitching a ride on their escape boat to her capture. She's not the main villain here, but still 13 years in prison. Our actual villain is Atticus Fink, who uses the Headless Horseman costume to ruin the movie studio so he could buy it for cheap. He attacks Junior one night before turning his attention to the gang, chasing them around the studio and turning the studio to a cart into a drop top. While shooting the film, he returns to destroy the set and chase away the crew, adding on a couple more assault charges here and one final one on Velma before his capture. He'll get an even 50 years in prison. Hey, remember Junior? Yeah, he dressed up as a zombie and a mummy to scare everyone, thus creating a good horror movie. They just let him go. And you know what? I will too.
That's just criminal mischief and just him trying to scare people. As long as nothing terrible happened. Yeah, no
anything for a fellow horror fan. In Scooby-Doo and WWE, Curse of the Speed Demon, Stephanie McMahon and Triple H team up to create Inferno, sabotaging the race to show Vince that she could win. They attack Dusty Rhodes and The Undertaker during practice. Absolutely
You attack the American dream, life, that's it. You attack Dusty Rhodes, life.
Destroying his car. And during the race, Kofi Kingston is kind of wrong
Kofi Kingston.
place at the wrong time, getting attacked as they start burning every bridge they have. Literally. The Miz tries to save
Hey, there's proper use of arson.
Shag and Scoob, but ends up getting suplexed.
Not shocked for the Miz there. Just really. Unless it's a 2012 Miz, yeah. Break call.
Then all 15 racers get a bit of a bump and run, with Lana and Rusev getting knocked around.
Probably banged her in that car. That's a WWE storyline that he allegedly had sex with his wife in the tank at WrestleMania. Then again, I don't blame him. One is Lana, two. How many people can say they had sex in a tank?
About the Scorpion tail. H and Steph get 125 years in WWE City Prison.
But Vince is her dad, so he's like the mayor, king, whatever, so he'll probably just pardon him.
And guess what? Still not as bad as Vince McMahon in real life. In Scooby-Doo Shaggy's Showdown, Kyle and Rafe team up to use the Legend of Dapper Jack to scare the town into selling their land for cheap. With all of the attacks, we can also add on some arson charges, a breaking and entering to steal the old diary from the museum, and nearly sending the gang over this waterfall. Once he's been found out, Rafe takes off with the prize money, and takes a shot at Shaggy on horseback in pursuit, but ends up getting sabotaged by Maddie B. Raps. Yeah, don't ask questions.
I'm asking a lot of questions. Who greenlighted this movie?
Kyle gets 1,260 years in Texas prison, while Rafe gets just 26.
Let's be honest. Texas prison, he's not making it there. They'll just go bzzz.
In LEGO Scooby-Doo Blow Up Beach Bash, the Holdout family all pose as these pirate ghosts to find the treasure and keep their cool kid titles. Probably tough to do when they start scaring a bunch of townfolk, break into the museum and toss a tour guide overboard in their attack spree on Shag and Scoob.
Well, it's a tour guide, so meh.
And just take off with the whole ship once they escape. For maybe a minute, as the pirate pair break into the club to start up their rampage again, kidnapping Brenda and Tommy and taking them back to the ship. After they get freed, the pirates destroy this cart and shoot Shaggy's plane down, but end up taking the
Yeah, that's attempted murder in my book. Man's in an airplane, it could just end badly.
boardwalk of shame. They'll be sent to Lego City Prison for 122 years. Oh, also, the cops stole part of the roller coaster to make furniture with. 3 years for them.
If it was broken and couldn't be unused, just find them. Batman Brave and the Bold. Not a bad Batman, I will honestly
Scooby-Doo and Batman, the Brave and the Bold. Clayface steals this isotope to find the cure for his disease, attacking the Mystery Gang, aiding Batman's own bunch of mystery solvers, burning the storage building down in the process. He breaks into Arkham Asylum and releases the criminals.
Let's see, who do you all
Burning the storage building down in the process. He breaks into Arkham Asylum and releases the criminals.
Deadshot would not be in Arkham, just saying. Who the hell are you supposed to be?
Before planting all the
Oh, that's Canary.
evidence inside the Mystery Machine. In his last stand, he attacks and ties up Aquaman and Batman before the gang swoop in with their best Bat cosplays. Clayface will get 100 and ties up Aquaman and Batman before the gang swoop in with their best Bat cosplay.
Why is she Robin? Just honest question, why is she Robin? Definitely more Batgirl. Also, Daphne has the legs for the Robin costume, more than Velma does.
Clayface will get 154 years in Blackgate, where he'll probably see his buddy the Riddler, who got caught stealing this gold and attacked Question, stole his identity, and tried to destroy Gotham. 69 years in Blackgate for him.
Like, anyway, really stays in jail. Oh god, it's one of the bad Scooby-Doo movies that looked so bad from the jump that I ignored it completely.
In Daphne and Velma, Carol kidnaps a bunch of students to steal their ideas for her company. She controls 3 that we know of, keeping them inside these little glass tubes that you see at the bank. She also controls Daphne's mom, locking both Daphne and Velma in to attack with these robot spider things. Oh, cops are here. That's too bad, Queen. 66 years for you. In Scooby-Doo and the Gourmet Ghost, Henry Metcalf dresses up as the Red Ghost to force Bobby Flay into selling his resort. To do so, he resorts to breaking in and scaring everyone out of the show, chasing Bobby, Jada De Laurentiis, and Shaggy around before taking the historic parchment papers, for maybe 30 seconds. He cracks the window and tries to ruin the gala, but is quickly beat, chopped, and fried. This chowderhead is getting 57 years in a Rhode Island state prison.
Good local reference of a joke there.
What a shame. He was a real family guy. In Scooby-Doo and the Curse of the 13th Ghost, Mortifer disguises as Vincent Van Gogh's old
Vincent Van Gogh. Another deep cut for Scooby-Doo.
ancestor to try and steal the chest of demons. He intercepts Shaggy's package to Vincent, but still feels the need to attack Vincent and his gang in the castle, then follows them over to Nepal to continue his rampage, causing an avalanche and nearly kill Daphne and the boys. While here, he also picks up a couple more assault charges, another reckless driving, and breaks out of his handcuffs to make an escape. Though,
Wouldn't this also kind of be like really Interpol and FBI level? Because it's multiple states and multiple countries.
it is short-lived. He'll be put into the gulag for about 86.5 years.
Oh, no. That'd be a lot higher. Like I said, multiple countries, multiple sentences. Just think what happens when you cross state lines to do a crime.
In Scooby-Doo Return to Zombie Island, the ferry captain and his 2 accomplices dress up as the cat creatures of Moonscar Island to try and find the treasure. They cut down a fake tree to nearly take out the van, giving them the opportunity to slash the tires. Once the movie plot's discovered, they tip the candle over and catch the curtain on fire, cut the chandelier to fall on the director, and attack everyone inside. Yeah, that's all well and fine. But destroying the new and improved Mystery Machine? Yeah, get them out of here. 70.5 years in Louisiana State Prison.
This one, I couldn't wrap my head around this one. It looks like it could be decent, but at the same time, I don't know.
In Scoob, we get to see Mystery Incorporated's first ever capture of Mr. Rigby, who locked the kids in this old house that he kept all of his stolen electronics in. Easy work, guys. 58 years in prison.
Also, look how young they all are. And really, she dressed up as a judge. See, like I said, life's work.
A couple years later, Dick Dastardly, who's already wanted for theft in Peru, attacks Shaggy and Scooby at this bowling alley and in this Romanian theme park. He poses as a police officer to kidnap Fred,
That is a transformation for you. Just
the girls in the Mystery Machine, keeping them locked on a ship. He kicks Shaggy while disguised as Fred, taking this giant skull and Scooby away, while also sending Fred and the girls for a big fall. He takes off to
about to say thank you for the attempted murder.
Greece, ensuring Blue Falcon won't be following them, and then has his minions shoot the flying Mystery Machine down, with Dee Dee and the gang inside.
Again, that should be more attempted. Yep, thank you.
This allows them to take off with the gold from the underworld, but is quickly captured. Ooh, double unmasking.
Oh, the underworld? Oh, you're messing with gods, and you don't want to do that.
He stole Simon Cowell's face here for a second. 8 life sentences and 98 years extra. In Happy Halloween, Scooby-Doo, Dr. Jonathan Crane escapes his cell and uses
Jonathan Crane, Batman, the Scarecrow.
his scarecrow disguise to shut down the Halloween parade, exploding this building and destroying the van while attacking Fred and the girls. But he did help the gang try and defeat these demon pumpkins, so I'll let it slide.
Meh. Scarecrow, the Scarecrow. No, so you don't mess with Halloween, my man.
Oh yeah, the demon pumpkins. Cutler Toe, who's been posing as the sheriff here, uses the jack-o'-lanterns to terrorize Crystal Cove on Halloween night. Of course, Shaggy's the first one to find him, which usually bites him in the ass. Just
Hey, you actually saw the curse in this one. Okay.
maybe not like this. A total of 9 people get attacked and kidnapped. So combine that with the assault of the gang and friends, and stealing all these cars, he's looking at about 173 years in Crystal Cove Prison.
Throw away the key.
In Scooby-Doo, The Sword and the Scoob, Herman Ellinger does the worst thing to a plane since, well, probably last week, with 24
Depending on when he made this video, yeah, it could be accurate.
people aboard and an attack on Scooby. He's getting put
Again, that's attempted murder in my book.
onto the no-fly list for 102 years. But of course, that's not our only crook here, as Mrs. Wentworth dresses up as the ghost of Morgan Le Fay to trick Shaggy into signing his land deed over.
Again, okay, this one actually makes sense. Shaggy, his family is like lore rich.
She attacks them and sends them back into time, attacking the town and kidnapping Shaggy to take Excalibur. She uses her dragon to attack once more, eating King Arthur before the stage production comes to a halt. Yeah, none of that was real. Until she reveals that she now owns the deed, not the town. And she takes the sword to attack the knight, hopping in the mystery machine to head back into town, but won't end up with a place at the round table anytime soon. Life in prison plus 10 years for her. And straight out of...
Yes! The greatest talking dog with the second greatest talking dog are teaming up in a movie I still have not seen.
nowhere, Cats and LeQuack somehow
Cats and LeQuack. Two great villains. These are two great A villains.
squeeze into the cicada costume to control the cicada horde, while also searching for the meteor beneath Courage's house. One of them attacks Shaggy before they steal Eustace's car with the dogs inside, ramming into Muriel and the gang and nearly sending them off the cliff. Also,
let's be honest, that's not the worst thing LeQuack and Cats have done in Courage.
rip to Eustace's truck. The gang and Muriel get attacked once more, with the bugs taking off with all the humans and sewing them up into their underground web. Muriel gets taken one last time, and the little pink one musters up the courage to have a final kaiju duel to defeat the bugs. They might be some cool cats, but these quacks are still getting 5 life sentences and 115 years in the Nowhere Town jail.
Crazy thing about Courage the Cowardly Dog, it's based off a slight real event. There was this old couple who did kind of live out in the middle, like the nowhere, just like the show explained. And every so often, service would go out and just check on them, make sure they're good. They showed up. They found the old man's truck and a dog shaking in the corner of the house named Courage. No sign of whatever happened to the two elderly couple that lived there.
In Trick or Treat Scooby-Doo, we're starting over in Nepal with our old buddy the Catman, or should I say Catwoman, who slashes Shaggy and Scooby's sled and then instantly gets captured. 3.5 years in prison. Back in the States, Warden Collins uses these flying robots to attack the gang and ruin their Halloween, bringing in Coco for the second attack, and kidnapping Fred and the girls at the old factory. Oh, he also shocks a prisoner for literally no reason. You know what, just switch places with them. Stay in there for life, plus another 145 years.
Never saw that one. Never even heard of some of these movies.
In Scooby-Doo and Crypto 2, Marcy Graves traps the Justice League inside the Phantom Zone using this projector, which would have allowed her to take over the Hall of...
Isn't that technically where the evil Kryptonians are located? Lord Zod, that's his name.
Justice behind
General Zod.
and Lex Luthor's back. Technically, I think all the attacks were the real Justice League and a big misunderstanding. But she's still getting 49 years in Metropolis Prison. She even gets overshadowed by her boss in the crime category, as he takes the projector and causes havoc in the city, using his robots to attack the gang in Crypto, giving him 158 years alongside Mercy.
Yeah, like those who will actually see days inside the jail cell. Come on, we know this.
And with that, I finally sentenced every single Scooby-Doo villain for their crimes. I'm free! I had a
For now, my friend, for now.
lot of fun with the series, and I appreciate everyone's support of it very much. Thank you as always to my lovely patrons for being so generous. If you want to help support me and get your name on here, and see the next videos a couple weeks early, head on over there with the links below. And I'll see you again soon for something super fun. But until then, bye.
Not a bad video there, sir. Not a bad video. I will say, I disagree with some of your assessment of what the crime was, but like I said, it's a very entertaining concept and video. So, very good. If this video does well, or if Dalt or anybody else wants me to react to more of Dalt's stuff, let me know, and I will. If that's it, that's all I have. I'll see you weird people later.